Hi, my name is Melissa and I do a bunch of things, one of them being art. And today we found something really interesting at Goodwill. Let's get into it. One of the things that my family loves to do, let me take that back. One of the things my husband and I love to do is visit different Goodwills looking for things. Nothing that we're going to resell. We don't resell anything. In fact, more than likely, when we're done with it, we might give it back to Goodwill so that they can resell it. But we like looking for very special things. I found Hamilton along with most of my musical collection on CD and LP. I found many different kinds of Converse shoes that are or were practically new. My husband's even found some really great finds, some different toys that he looks for, that he puts into his collection, different games that he finds that he likes and doesn't want to spend full price on. We are Goodwill shoppers. One of the things that I was on the lookout for was a good pencil set. Now, I already own good pencils. I own a very decent quality Arteza set. 64 at least. I don't know if I haven't counted in a while. It might be 120. And a 24 pack of Prismacolor. Really, I was on the lookout for Prismacolor. Those are top tier colored pencils. So every time I would go to Goodwill, I would lift up the bag of art supplies and I would look through and see what kind of colored pencils or markers or whatever was in there and see if it was worth my time and money. And almost always when I lift them up and move them around, I would see they were Crayola or Rose Art or some off-brand, and I would sadly put it down. But this time, I lifted the bag and looked, and sure enough, I saw Prismacolor. Now, maybe it was only one. I didn't know. So I bought the bag for $4 and found out there were more than one set of good pencils. Let's look. Starting with the bottom tier, what I believe is bottom tier is just the leftovers, the things that didn't go with anything else, but I still pulled them so that I could use them. These are just leftover. There's a couple of Crayola colored pencils, some unnamed colored pencils. I will go into this in a bit. Then we have our crazy art trash tier. We have gallery art supplies, and if you know anything about gallery, then it's not the best quality. We have 3 cheers for going green. These are colored pencils, and I'm sure they're green because of the way that they're made, but we'll get into that. Dry erase markers, I think. Wipe out. Unnamed colored pencils. A set of Ninja Turtles markers and a set of Frozen crayons. Unnamed pens. Crayola markers. Magic pens, which I have never used before. And now we get into the things that are a little bit interesting. First, the one that I mentioned, Prismacolor. When you buy them new, you're looking at spending at least $24 for a 24 pack. So $1 a pencil. And I found these. There are 22 of them. 20 come from a pack, and 2 of them have been purchased after the pack or before. They're not part of the pack, and I'll explain that in a future video. Most of these I already have because I bought the 24 pack, so a lot of the colors are the same. Then we have Faber-Castell color erase pencils. Now, these I have never heard of, And I have used erasable pencils. Typically, the pencil themselves tend to be hard. These are the hardest pencils I have ever used. And then finally, this is the one I'm the most excited about. And I didn't think that I would be the most excited about something that wasn't Prismacolor, but it comes out of nowhere. There's practically a full set here, and I cannot wait until I get the chance to use it. Liquitex Basic Colored Pencils. Now, those who know Liquitex know that colored pencils are not their jam. They are in the acrylic business, and they do fine quality acrylic paint. In fact, you go to most art stores and you go to the acrylic section, and Liquitex Basic is right there for you to get and to use. High quality, high pigmentation, don't have to do a ton of layers. Totally and completely worth it. Now, Liquitex has went into the colored pencil business, and they have gone out of the colored pencil business. I have not done my research yet, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. But they have been out of the colored pencil business for about the mid-90s. So these pencils are 30 years old. And I didn't try out anything from this set with the exception of the Color Ease Prismacolor and Liquitex, just to see what, because I'm going to get excited about colored pencils. It's kind of like my thing. I noticed that these are as creamy and as rich as the Prismacolor. So I'm saving these for last. Okay, so what am I doing? My plan. I am going to make a piece of artwork with each set. Here are the ground rules for my videos. Rule number 1, I can only use the art supplies in each set. No extra pencils, blenders, erasers, or other products. Rule number 2, if the product doesn't work, I'm allowed to revitalize it using secondary tools or use the product in a way it was not intended to get art out of the product. Like I said, the only thing I've tested so far have been those colored pencils. So when I get to some of these markers, they might have been used up and they might be dry. So I need the opportunity to put something on the paper. So I want to be able to use it in some way. Rule number 3, I will generally start with what I believe is the worst to the best. Do I know it's going to be the worst? No. You get to find out when I get to find out if it actually is the worst or the best. I might start with these crazy art markers and they may never have been used. So they might have that vibrant color that a new marker has. And then I get to the Crayola and discover that they're all dried out. This is fun, right? This is going to be fun. Rule number 4, I must include any important information about the product, including, but not limited to, history, where it can be purchased, how much it costs, and what others might be saying about it. Rule number 5, each video will come with a counter for the cost to purchase the supplies new and how much I paid for the product. Now, here is my rule on that. My rule number 5B. Sure. I am giving each of these a cent value. I spent $4 for this entire bag. So I am going to say I spent a penny on each of these products. And then when I get to the last 3, I'm going to split what's left over between them, because those are the most expensive out of the 3. So it has the best opportunity to have the most value. But in the end, $4 for the entire bag. And I am most definitely going to have more than $4 worth of product in this bag. So that's how I'll do it. Now, when I'm splitting up the price for each individual item, what I'll do is, let's say I'm doing Crayola markers and I have 9 Crayola markers. Well, I will look up the price of a 12 pack and then I will figure out how much per marker, and that will be the value for those markers, is how much they cost per marker. Now, am I overpricing some of this stuff because some of this stuff is most definitely not new? Yes, but still, if I went to buy it, I'm not going to buy used markers. So there we go. If I do a video for each of these groups, I will have 13 videos, 14 in all. And you get to see each one being used as I'm using it. I hope you are looking forward to this as much as I am. And I guess we're going to get started next time with the loaner pile. See you then.